Okay, so this is part 3. On the other side here, I got some bok choy coming in. Been picking on my lettuces. I didn't grow as much because the last go round, a lot of it bolted because I couldn't get rid of it fast enough. So I started this, now I'm starting out smaller. And I will be filling these back up for the fall though. And there will be a lot more greens and lettuces in here because they do better in cooler temperatures anyway. And here are some of my spinach that I finally was able to grow as well, but I know it was a chore trying to get these things to grow. The insects apparently love their greens, and they would eat up all of the leaves. And I decided to try to bring them in here since there's always less insects. Still insects though, by the way. So I do keep the door open because of circulation, but not as much. So yes, I was able to finally have some spinach growing over here in the small hydroponic system. And there's one of my culprits that need to die. I know you say, oh, it's a butterfly, you need those. No, not this one in particular, because this is the one that spawns those crazy caterpillars that eats up my greens. So no, it's got to die, and I will get it later. But more peppers here, carnations, which I never brought back out, which should be outside somewhere, but since they're annual, I'm not going to bother. They'll stay in here. If they start to flower, then it'll bring some color in here. And it's a wreck back there. I did do a lot of rearranging because of my skids, and I'm going to have to rearrange again because when I get my boards to put down here, plywood, all this is going to have to come out again. So, and as you can see in the corners, I got all kinds of weeds growing in here. They don't see a lot of rain, so they do die off. But the ones that do receive some rain are still sticking around. So I will be eliminating that problem as well once I get my plywood boards. And yeah, this is what I have in here so far. Most of everything I had in here was brought outside, and this is where they are at. And we'll give you the tour. My melons, watermelons. My bigger watermelon died. It came off the vine suddenly. But there's another one growing in its place. I have another melon hiding right there. Looks like it's probably a sugar baby. Could be a crimson. It's one or the other. I know that one is a yellow flesh, big watermelon. I have 2 more crimsons here growing. And there's the other one. That one is actually quite big. And I had a big cantaloupe there, but it came away from the vine and died as well. I don't see any other ones starting to bloom, so I may not get anything this year out for that one. Here's a tomato bush that I just let go. It needs to be watered. Getting water back here is a chore as well. But it'll come back to life. I don't have to worry about that. Here's some cilantro I'm growing. And I see it is doing well. I just picked some of these green onions and they're growing back as usual. My onions, they're not as big as I hoped, but I should be picking these pretty soon. My big giant garlic though is doing absolutely positively well, and I don't know when to pick that, but I will dig it and see how big it's gotten. I started a new string of carrots here, space them out better, see if I can get a better production out of it. There's a sugar baby, and it is big. It's about as big as my hand. There's another yellow flesh watermelon there. My cucumbers died. I got a few cucumbers off of them, but then something happened, don't know quite what, and they started wilting away. So I started another batch here. I didn't do it hydroponically like I did the last time. I am doing the wicking buckets and see if that helps. I think it might have been a nutrient ratio, might have burnt my plants up. Here's another cantaloupe, and as you can see, I have one growing here. Hopefully that will grow to, you know, the size I can actually eat. There's some more bush beans here. These are the ones that are left. I'm not getting many from each one, even though they keep producing. I don't get a lot, so that's why I started some more down over there, so I can get at least enough to eat as a meal. Here's my suckers that I have replanted, and they are now big, gigantic tomatoes. Even got some ripening up down there. They're getting start looking a little sickly. I might have to put some nutrients in there somewhere. Here's another one that's doing absolutely positively wonderful. I'm getting a lot of production off of this one, as you can see, and it's also my tallest one, going all the way up to the sky past my fence line. It's about somewhere anywhere from 8 to 10 feet tall if I stand it up right, but it keeps falling over because it's so heavy. I might have to start leaning it up against the fence. Gotta do something with it. I'm gonna have to tie it to the fence, but I won't do it right now. It's my squash. It's starting to die off, it looks like, but at least it produced me 2 squashes, which is almost ready to pick. As soon as they turn absolutely positively yellowish orange, I can pick them. Here's my peppers. They're doing beautifully. Look at how big these peppers are. And yes, this is my hand, and that is the pepper. So yes, they are absolutely big, and I got some going all the way up. And here's my second one in the wicking bucket. I got one there, a few there, a lot of them up there, and some more blossoming. I had an issue with them, and a couple of limbs fell with peppers on them, but They tasted just as good green, but they're supposed to be this red color, as you can see on this pepper. They're supposed to be red, and this is almost ready to be picked. And here's the rest of them on that vine. Some pepper back there. Yeah. Whew. Here's another sucker I planted in here, and it went hog wild, and I didn't have anything to stake it up, so I just let it flop over onto the ground, and it's still producing my tomatoes. So there you have that. There's some I replanted some more broccoli and cauliflower, and I see some of it starting to sprout. Those haven't sprouted yet. My Brussels sprouts are starting to mature, but they don't look like Brussels sprouts. So I don't know. I'll keep them back here as long as I can. As you can see, the insects are tearing the leaves up off of these things. Here's a collard greens here. My mom been picking at them, but they are doing well now. And there's another broccoli or cauliflower head there. And here's her thinned out squash, thinned out for her. And now it's doing absolutely positively well. She has lots and lots and lots of squash in here. Some really huge. That is a huge squash there and there too. And it's still growing. And there's a squash there. And some more squash growing here. So yeah. And here's my baby bells from the first go round. And I got a lot of peppers. And this is what they look like. When they mature, they turn yellow. So I got a few of them trying to turn yellow there. And that's about as big as they're going to get. That's why they call them baby bells. Here's the 2 sickly tomato plants. These are one of the first 2 I've ever put out here. I did get my tomatoes off of them though. They were quite delish. I used them as green tomatoes actually. And once I did that, it started sprouting out more tomatoes. So this vine is going to be huge. I'm just gonna let it sit here for now until I can get it strung up. I need to get some more stakes. But finding them is a chore. They don't have them at Home Depot, and they only have the smaller ones. I need the big tall ones, and all those I had ordered I think online and had delivered to Home Depot. And I had kept those from my redoing my pond. Here's some more flowers. I just noticed that my marigolds are seeding, and everywhere around my marigolds, more marigolds are popping up, which I don't mind, because not only does a marigold keep pests away, they also medicinal, and you can eat marigolds. I did not know that. This is where my green beans were, and I transferred them into my aquaponics system. I don't have anything in here right now. Later I will be putting my fall seedlings in here. It's my Swiss chard. Getting very sickly because then I've actually been taken care of. Nobody wants any Swiss chard, unfortunately. So I still haven't filled those two up with anything, so they've just been sitting out here collecting mosquito larvae. Apparently, here's some more strawberries. My celery's drying out. I need to get some water on those, and those strawberries over there are dying. There is my nectarine trees, which is the only tree that I see that is actually doing quite well. I have put it in its corner to give it more shade than sun, and it's doing quite well. My other cherry tree has been getting damaged by lots of pests. Those Japanese beetles been tearing it up. These are my lime plants. Like I said, none of my citrus is doing too hot these days. This is my pear tree, which looks quite sickly and is about to die. But then here's another branch that's coming in that's nice and green. If I can stimulate some more growth, maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see. Peonies. And that is it. Oh, there's some more of my plants I planted around the big pond. See my grasses, pond grasses have gotten absolutely big. And my lily pads are coming out. My lilies, flowers are coming out as well. As you can see. There you go.